You are a busy music studio owner and you have a lot of things to keep track of. All the client facing stuff, all the back end stuff, the business facing stuff. And I know that it can feel difficult to keep all those plates spinning at the same time. So today we're going to look at 7 things that successful music studio owners can do. And we're going to dive into how we can get systems in place and how we can set priorities so that we can not only enjoy our teaching, but also enjoy running the business side of things. So welcome today, everyone. I'm so glad that you are here, whether you are watching live with me on Facebook or if you're catching this later on YouTube. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to having a conversation with you. If you are new here, extra welcome. My name is Sara Campbell. I am a business marketing and mindset coach for music studio owners and online education experts just like yourself. And I go live here every Wednesday where we talk about those topics, where we unpack the business strategies that we need to have in place so that we can become successful, where we look at the marketing that we need to dig into so that we can attract the ideal clients that you can serve the best, and where we look at the mindsets that we need to have in place in order to do all the things. So welcome this morning. I see we've got some people tuning in. Hello, Craig. Looking forward to the insights. Cheryl Lee, ready for your therapy session. So welcome to the broadcast. We're going to be diving into 7 things today, which I know seems like a lot because I'm normally, the kind of coach who drops 3 things, maybe 5 things, but we're going to 7 today. So if you guys are ready for that, let me know. Give me some thumbs up and some hearts, and let me know where you're tuning in from today. We love to learn out loud here on the broadcast. So if you find something here today that is valuable, give us a hashtag takeaway and tell us what that value is. Whether you're watching live or watching this later on, we love to have conversations together and to learn out loud. So give us those hashtag takeaways when you hear them, and I'm going to let you know that we have the Savvy Sara bot is set up. She's got all the show notes ready for you. So if you drop a 7 things below, if you're here on Facebook, if you drop a 7 things below, she will set you up with the show notes via Messenger. And if you are watching on YouTube, you can check out the post description and it's going to have all that goodness there for you. So welcome to the broadcast, everyone. Craig, can musicians even count to 7? Well, I can't remember the piece. I was just doing a piece with one of my vocalists and it kept going in between 7, 8, and 4, 4. And we figured it out. Oh, it was something from Avenue Q, and I can't remember. Mixtape from Avenue Q. Good stuff. Good morning, Elizabeth. Nice to see you. Hey there, June. Good to see you as well. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Whoops. We'll take that down. All right. 7 things that successful music studio owners do. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret right now. It's not just music studio owners. This is all business people. So if you happen to be here and you're not a music studio owner, you can chime in on this conversation too. Hey there, Laura. Hey there, Brenda. Nice to see you. Hi, Carrie. Nice to see you as well. And Patricia. All right, let's get to the things because we got a lot to cover today. 7, 8. These are difficult times. Yes, they are. Okay. If you have a teacher friend who you think could benefit from joining in on this conversation, please feel free to invite them and let them know that this is going on. And if you have any teacher groups that you're a part of that you think would benefit from this as well, let them know about it. It's good stuff. We love to learn together. All right. Item number 1. Shall we? It's time to give yourself office hours. When we are thinking about what does it take to run a successful business, maybe you're thinking about somebody else's business that you've been following and you're like, man, they just seem to have all their stuff together. And not only do they seem to have the business stuff together, but they also seem to have an active personal life. It is so important to give ourselves office hours. And I can actually share a little story about how I'm leaning into office hours more myself because in the last couple of weeks, I'll admit I had some bad habits that have followed me throughout the years and check an email a little bit too early in the morning. So I got real with myself and I started setting very specific boundaries about when I'm going to step into the office. And I actually used my smartphone to set those boundaries. There's a thing called screen time on here. You can choose what apps you're allowed to access. But if that isn't your style, it's time to just sit down with your schedule and say, okay, this is when I'm going to step into the studio and do the business things. This is when I'm going to answer parent emails or text messages, and to set boundaries, healthy boundaries, so that you do not feel like you are constantly having to be on. Because there's nothing more exhausting than feeling like you have to run a business 24/7. And I know as micro business owners, this is something that we fall into. Yeah. So Craig is like, yes, business office hashtag. We've got our first takeaway of the day. Thank you, Craig. So giving yourself office hours, I know that there's some like fear kind of wrapped up in this because, okay, well, what if somebody texts me at 9 p.m. on Saturday and needs something? Or what if like a parent, emails me at 6 a.m. or something like that? You are going to not only do yourself a favor, but also your clients a favor by setting business hours. And here's why. When you are refreshed and rejuvenated and you have time to spend outside of your business without having to worry about the things that are going on, you are going to show up as a renewed person. And when you do have those office hours, you can make sure that they are getting your full attention. So if you have issues setting those boundaries, one of my best tips is to just be honest. Right? So if you've got that teen who texts you at 10 p.m. at night, you can let them know the next week and listen, hey, I saw that you texted me. I just wanted to let you know, here's why I didn't respond immediately. And set that personal boundary. It also teaches them a valuable lesson, right? About when it's appropriate to think business. Yes, exactly. I love what I'm seeing here. Physicians have to have others to share a call with so they're not always on. Yep, got some more takeaways about setting office hours. Pete saying yay for office hours. Built into the end of each of my teaching days, I'd get nothing done otherwise. Pete, that's so smart. Brenda says she sometimes forgets how important this is. The screen time app to help you manage app use. Placed to the top of the investigate list. I knew that the screen time app was like a thing, but I didn't realize how powerful it was. You can actually choose. Side note, we're just going to tangent for a second. You can actually choose what apps are always allowed, and then you set hours for yourself about when you go into that mode where the other apps get, kind of shut down and they just get grayed out and you can't access. You can actually access them if there's an emergency and you needed to. You could access them, but it's a really great way to set a boundary. So, and that's on iOS. So it's just under settings and it's called screen time. So investigate that. If you're an iPhone user, it's good stuff. All right. That was item number 1. Item number 2. Do you guys like how these things are shooting across the screen? I got all fancy this week. You're going to set routines for yourself and your students. The routines that I had in mind when I created this particular tip is routines about going in and out of the studio. Doesn't matter if you're teaching in your house or if you're teaching in a commercial space. Set routines for yourself so that when you walk into your studio, you have things where you need them to be. And that you just have like a quick process of, okay, I got to turn this thing on. I got to do this over here. I got to do this. And boom, I'm ready to teach. Likewise, leaving the studio. So those are the things that are going to feed into each other and set you up for success. Have a routine that when you leave the studio, you're going to prepare for the next day. Or have a routine where you're going to have time set aside, some admin time and prep time, so that you don't feel like you're rushed or, just like, overwhelmed when you have to sit down to teach. Alicia, your screen time just told you to get off of Facebook. Oh no, you've been schooled. So setting routines is it's a wonderful way to set yourself up in a way that you can feel relaxed when you go in to teach, or you can feel relaxed when you're going into your business hours. You can also apply this to your students, right? So to teach them to have routines when they come into the studio, and I bet many of you do that, right? When we go into the studio, the first thing that we do is we go to wash our hands, or we sit down, and then when we sit down at the bench, we take a moment to get out all the books that we need for that day. And at the end, we make sure that we know where our assignment book is. All this, you're naturally doing this for your students, but oftentimes we forget to do this for ourselves. So I would love to know, what routines do you need to get in place in your business? What are some routines that would help you streamline so that you can show up feeling rejuvenated and refreshed and ready to go when you're teaching? I'll share one of my routines. One of my routines is at the end of the day, after I've done all my lessons, I have folders for each student, and it has, music in there. It has notes and like whatever books that they're using, and it just helps me stay organized. I take the folders that I used that day, I put them back to where those folders live, and I grab the folders for the next day and I set those out on the piano so that when I come into the studio, all I have to do is put my headset on and turn on my computer, and I've got everything that I need right there. So just little tiny things that add up over time. Tiny things that add up over time. All right. So I'd love to know what routines you're going to put into place. Let's head on to number 3. Number 3, make personal and family priorities and keep them. This is not all about business today. It's about finding a balance. There's our myth word, because there is no balance. It is about creating a schedule for yourself that allows you to not just be a business owner, not just a piano teacher or just a voice teacher or just a ukulele teacher. It allows you to be a mom, a dad, a friend, a family member, somebody who actually, and wait for it, has hobbies. I know, wait, what? What is that H word that you just said? But making personal and family priorities is so huge. Exactly, Craig. Caring for yourself and your family is huge. So if you haven't really considered, like, how am I nurturing myself? It's time to sit down and think about, well, what are the things that you want to do? Make a list. What are the things that you want to do? What are the things that feed your soul so that when you have time off, you aren't just sitting there mulling over what's going to happen next in your business? I'm kind of talking about myself here, just so you know. So it's important to make and keep family priorities and friend priorities and personal priorities so that we can find that myth of balance in our lives. Hey, I love that. Pete says Wednesday is date night. Exactly. Aha. Karen says, my last student was enjoying her lesson, said I could stay a little late. And Karen set a great boundary and said, I can't. I have to eat dinner. Fabulous. Oh, this is so good. Very, very good. Yes. Laura says, even though I was already teaching from home, it seems all structure flew out the window with online lessons. I'm still online, but it's time to bring structure back. I love that. Very good. Yes. I see some other routines that people are sharing. I need to put everything away that I don't have time to put away from one student to the next. Exactly. Yeah. Elizabeth grabbed the wrong quarter journal yesterday for the lessons you were teaching. The routine is to make sure each quarter materials are where they should be. Yeah, setting those routines so that it's easy. Okay, so we've gone through 3. Let's keep going. We've got more to go. Time to file receipts on the regular. And I feel like just because I want it to be fancy, I'm going to make it fly in. Because apparently I didn't do it for this one. Okay, so this is something that I can speak from experience. Okay, it is time to make sure that you build in a spot in your month or a spot in your week, like put it on your schedule, actually put it on your calendar and block it out and say, during this time, I am going to file my receipts. I'm going to track my expenses and categorize them appropriately so that I am not going to be tearing my hair out in December when I'm trying to make sense of all of the stuff that has piled up in my box of receipts that has piled up in my email inbox, or that is just like hanging out on my credit card statement. Build this in as a routine for yourself and set yourself up for success so that you don't have to spend a whole day on December 23rd filing receipts. You're going to make that either a weekly priority, a monthly priority, or a quarterly priority. Or you're going to outsource it and give it to somebody else. But make sure that you are taking time to file receipts regularly, not just so that you can avoid the overwhelm at the end of the year, but also so that you have a finger on the pulse of your business and you can make sure that you are tracking the spending and sticking to a good budget that will mean that you make the money that you need. Right? Karen says, my nemesis. Yep, nobody loves to file receipts. But when we think about the fact that we're avoiding, that day-long or 2-day-long thing where we're having to go through all the receipts and like track down all the things, and we are also being good business owners and keeping a finger on the pulse of the health of our business, then filing receipts doesn't become so bad. Right? Because there's some rewards at the end of that. Yes, great, Karen, for those who travel, keeping mileage log current. That's really important. Also filing other paperwork. Yeah, I mean, that stuff like piles up. Hey there, Sadie the music lady. Nice to see you today. All right, so we've gone through 4. Let's keep going. We got 3 more words to do. Ooh, 2 powerful words right there. Take time. Heather, I'm so glad that you put that in the comments because I'm going to make a little word shift here, and it's a really cool one. Instead of taking time, make time. Because if you try to find time, you're not going to find it. It's going to slip through your fingers, and then you're going to run out of, at the end of the day, you won't have done what you wanted to do. But if you sit down and you make time to do something, it's going to get done. All right. Takeaway, hashtag takeaway weekly receipts. Yep. There we go. Excellent. Putting them in the proper place when you first handle them. That is a great routine, Patricia. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. We got 3 more to go. Number 5, celebrate all the wins. Successful business owners take the time to acknowledge when something has gone right. And this can be as a successful teacher, taking the time to acknowledge when a student does something that's awesome, even if it's a tiny awesome, right? Being able to, oh my gosh, you got those 2 measures to link up and there's no gap in the middle. Can we stop and celebrate this? Taking time to celebrate is important because it gives us that little dopamine boost, right? So whether it's something that you're celebrating with a student, or if it's something that you're celebrating for yourself, maybe it's that you did set a routine and you stuck with it for a week and it worked really well. You implemented that zero-based scheduling and you got an idea of like where time is being lost, or you filed all those receipts and you got it done. Take time to celebrate the wins, even if it's a small way, to just sit for a moment, put your hands on your heart, take a deep breath, and say, good job, self. You did it, even though you thought it would be hard. So take time to celebrate your wins. Christine, you and me both. I need to learn to celebrate. I'm always rushing to do the next to-do item. Yep. I've got achiever as my top Clifton strength. So I'm not very good at celebrating things, and it's something that I have to actively work at. So when something goes right, to sit down and to celebrate it. Say it out loud, share it with a friend. Celebrate the things that go correctly. All right, let's move on to number 6. Curate regularly and batch the things. Okay, let's unpack this because what does this mean? So I talk a lot about social media marketing and marketing in general for your studio. And one of the things that I see that a lot of teachers get confused about is like, well, I don't have materials to market. I don't have verbiage from clients. I don't have pictures of clients. So this is where it becomes important to curate regularly. And one of the easiest ways that you can curate is with the cell phone that you carry around all day. Take the time to take pictures about what's going on. Document, in those moments when you're celebrating the wins, take a snapshot and, set that into a routine for yourself so that you have content that you can use for marketing, whether it's gathering testimonials from clients or it's taking pictures of them doing things during lessons, and just making sure that you find these little things that you can use along the way, or taking a screenshot of a fabulous text from somebody that you can maybe talk about later in a post, right? So curate the content regularly and then batch the things. Now, let's talk about what does it mean to batch things. This is something that we discuss frequently in the Social Media Savvy Studio course and also in Branding Bootcamp, that batching content is a way to sit down and do a bunch of the same things all at once so that you're not having to do tons of tiny little tasks throughout your week or your month. So my analogy that I normally use here is it's a heck of a lot easier to make a whole bunch of cookies, a whole batch of cookies, than to make one cookie, because you're still going to have to get all the ingredients out. You're going to have to turn the oven on, and you're going to have to mix all the stuff together. Why do that for just one cookie? You might as well make a dozen or 3, right? There we go, Janet, curate and batch. Yes. So when you do that and you can find a routine and set a system that works for you, you're going to find that you get a little brain space back, because you're not having to do a dozen tasks each day. Maybe you're only having to do 2 or 3 because you're making your schedule work in a way where you can sit down and say, okay, on this day, I am going to file all my receipts. On this day, I am going to work on the content for my summer camps. On this day, I am going to schedule my social media content, or I am going to connect with people that I know that I could help. Brains love batching. It's true. It's true. Craig, make 7 dozen cookies. Just go for it, right? Just go. Yes, Brenda says that she's gotten better about asking families for recordings of students, and now you have lots of materials for posts. So incredibly smart. And Cheryl, exactly like what you said here, it's similar to prepping meals for the week, right? If you're going to make like salads in those mason jars, which I'm like always, I think they're just the prettiest things, and how lovely would it be to have a pretty thing like that for lunch? I'm getting off track. Okay, so curate regularly and batch all the things. Number 7, here we go. Learn to communicate your value. And let's take it a step back. It's not just about communicating your value. It's about understanding your value. You are more than music lessons. I was having a fabulous conversation with Lynn Stuckart yesterday about how what she teaches as a flute teacher is about way more than just learning how to play the flute. The skills that students gain from the specific things that she does in her studio are incredible. And it's not just about reading music or not just about making a pretty note. So if you're not sure about how to communicate your value, your first step would be getting clear about understanding the value that you bring to the table as a music teacher. So if you haven't done that before, a little exercise that you can do is just to sit down and to think about what impact have you had in the lives of music students in the past 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, however long you've been teaching, 25 years. What impact have you had in the lives of students? And I bet you if you sit down with that question, you're going to see a lot more than just so-and-so learned how to play the Moonlight Sonata. So learn to understand your value and to communicate it clearly. Fabulous, Craig. I love it. If I can support you with that, let me know. All right. We went through a lot today. Let's take a moment and recap all of the things. And as we do this, I want you to let me know which one of these 7 things are you going to put into place this week? What are you going to be focused on? What goal are you going to set for yourself? Brenda, hashtag takeaway, all of this. Oh, hello, FaceTime. No. Okay. All right, here we go. So you are constantly spinning plates in your business, whether it's teaching plates, lesson prep, admin, all the things, communicating with people. And I know that that can feel really hard. Here are 7 things that you can do as a music studio owner so that you can set yourself up for success. And I have this set up with the Savvy Sara bot. So if you want to drop a 7 things below, she's going to give you all of this stuff in Messenger, or you can look in the description of this video. So let's get through them rapid style. Number 1, give yourself office hours, because you should not be on call 24/7. Nobody needs you to be on call 24/7. What they need is for you to be able to show up refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to go. So give yourself office hours and set healthy boundaries for yourself and for your clients. Number 2, set routines for yourself and your students, whether that's what it looks like going into the studio, what it looks like going out of the studio, like what times of the week that you're going to respond to emails. See, it's kind of all tying together with those office hours things, right? Set routines for yourself so that when you do show up to work, you don't have to think hard. You just have to teach. That's the fun stuff, right? Number 3, make personal and family priorities and keep them. Because you are a human being and a business owner. And you will show up as a better business owner if you nurture the human being side of yourself. So when you set those priorities, keep them. And if you're not sure like what you can do to unwind and not work, it's time to make a good list of things I want to do, things that would be cool that aren't work. Sit down with that list and have fun. Number 4, take time to file receipts regularly. Don't get stuck on December 23rd, like filing receipts for 7 hours. Take time, say I'm going to do it weekly, I'm going to do it monthly, I'm going to do it quarterly, whatever you do, take time to file receipts, not only so that you can make sure that you're not spending a whole bunch of time at the end of the year filing receipts and tracking stuff down, but also so that you can keep a finger on the pulse of your business and stick to those budgets that you set. Number 5, celebrate all the wins. When you do that thing, that you didn't want to do, we call it eating the frog. When you eat that frog, that task that you're like, ugh, I just don't want to do this, celebrate it. When good things happen in your studio and your students are thriving and they achieve something that's amazing, even if it's a tiny amazing, take a moment to celebrate it. And then number 6, curate regularly and batch the things so that you don't have to scramble when you're trying to make social media posts or marketing materials or, planning for classes and all that stuff. Make sure that you're curating regularly so that you have content that shows all the amazing things that you do in your studio. You can do that by just making sure that your cell phone is handy and you can take pictures, and then batch the stuff, because we know it's a lot easier to make 7 dozen cookies than it is to just make 1. Number 7, learn to communicate your value. And if you're not sure about your value and you're just thinking, well, all I do is teach people to sing, or all I do is teach people how to play piano pieces, I want you to sit down and answer the question, what impact have I had in the lives of my music students over the years? And I think when you do that, you're going to discover you're way more than just a music teacher. So understand your value and learn to communicate that value, because that is what is going to bring people into your studio. All right. Whew, I see so many great comments here of people putting out takeaways and intentions into the world about scheduling office hours and making a shortcut to open and watch these videos every Wednesday. I love it. A routine, great. Batching content, Leishan, that's fabulous. Celebrating the wins, big and small. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you carving time out of your day to join me. It makes me feel really good to see you here. And if you're watching this later on, just know that I love to come back in and have a conversation with you. So if you have a question about anything, or if you want to share your takeaways as you're watching on the rerun of this, I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. If you found value in today's video, if you could give me some thumbs up and some hearts and let me know that this was valuable to you, I would super appreciate that. And if you have a teacher friend who you think could benefit from joining in on these conversations, please invite them and let them know that we're here, because we are better together. All right, guys, I will be back next week. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Sara Campbell. I'm a business, marketing, and mindset coach for music studio owners and online education experts just like yourself. And you can find me live every Wednesday here on the Facebook page, and you can follow me on my YouTube channel. So until next week, stay savvy and stay you, because you're an amazing teacher and there's nobody in the world that's quite like you. And I think you're pretty dang awesome. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.